O Mother Nui, stretch high above this valley. Your starry body is our glory. Then see the hawk of yonder Rahur quit, his fiery splendor, oh so mighty. He brings a light for all our weary souls. He makes the broken spirit whole.
So if you wanted to protect your home from intruders in Sasanian Mesopotamia, like a millennium and a half ago, you didn't buy a lock.
Right. Yeah, you bought a terracotta bowl.
Exactly. You wrote a literal demon trap on the inside, and, well, you buried it face down under your front door. Welcome to today's deep dive, everyone.
We are pulling from this really fascinating archaeological report on an artifact currently in the British Museum. It's called the Ashur Mahadiud Incantation Bowl.
And the mission for you today is to uncover how ancient people, creatively hacked their own strict religious rules to defend against supernatural terrors.
Because, ancient thresholds were universally viewed as highly vulnerable liminal zones, so burying a protective artifact there isn't exactly surprising.
Right, but the physical mechanics of how this trap operated are just incredible. I'm looking at the photos from the report, and the text on the inside of the bowl is dizzying.
It really is.
Yeah, it's not rayed top to bottom at all. Why did the scribe write it in this really tight, continuous spiral?
Well, it's basically functional geometry. The idea is that a demon hovering at the threshold is sort of compelled to read the text.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the spiral forces the entity to trace the spell round and round, drawing it deeper into a labyrinth until it gets trapped in the totally empty center void at the bottom.
That is wild.
Or if the text is drawn in concentric circles, it functions more as a series of locked quarantine rings.
Wait, hold on, though. A physical demon trap. This sounds exactly like witchcraft.
Yeah.
Doesn't the Book of Deuteronomy explicitly hand down the death penalty for sorcery?
Yes, it absolutely does.
So how on earth is a devout person justifying putting a magical spell under their floorboards?
So that glaring contradiction is exactly what makes this a masterclass in religious adaptation. You really have to look at the competitive environment they were living in.
Right.
Everyone around them was using these bowls just to survive the night. But standard pagan bowls ran on forbidden software, so to speak. They invoked the stars or esoteric angels or Karmasisi, the queen of sorceries.
Okay, so you desperately need the protective tech, but the standard operating system violates your religion entirely.
Exactly. So this scribe basically kosherized the magic. They systematically stripped out the pagan deities and swapped them with normative Hebrew scripture,
Transforming a prohibited magical spell into a permitted scriptural shield.
You got it.
And the specifics of that swap are so wild to me. They used the Song of Solomon, which normally is this beautiful erotic poetry about King Solomon's bed.
Yeah, but they completely recontextualized it.
Right, because the verse mentions the 60 mighty men of Israel. And in the context of this bowl, those aren't human bodyguards. They're essentially a militarized angelic SWAT team.
Deployed to protect the sleeping homeowner from night demons like Lilith. Yeah. The underlying logic operating there is sympathetic magic.
Meaning that imitating an outcome actually causes it to manifest in the physical world.
Exactly. And they also deploy the priestly blessing, may God bless you and keep you, may he make his face to shine upon you.
Oh, I know that one.
Right. Well, demons were creatures of the underworld. So by invoking the literal light of God's face, the scribe believed they were physically burning away those shadow entities.
So it's not just a nice pastoral sentiment, it's a permanent spotlight burning them away.
Right. But this defense wasn't entirely passive either. The report notes it actively fired back against rival human sorcerers.
Wait, really? How did it do that?
It used a heavily misspelled version of Isaiah 44.25. In the Bible, that's a verse where the prophet Isaiah explicitly mocks Babylonian astrologers and magicians, saying, God turns their knowledge into foolishness.
That is brilliant irony. They took an anti-magic Bible verse and weaponized it as an actual magical spell to reflect curses back at the sender.
Yeah, it's genius.
But why misspell it? Were they just sloppy, or was there a real reason?
Not at all sloppy. Those misspellings were deliberate encryptions. If a rival magician sent a curse, they might try to counterspell your defenses.
Oh, so by scrambling the scriptural code, the scribe made it impossible for enemies to reverse engineer the ward.
Exactly. And this exact encryption practice actually evolved. Centuries later, in medieval Kabbalistic rituals, victims of sorcery would recite this same corrupted verse over a cup of water.
Let me guess. They dissolve the written spell into it.
Yeah, and drink it to break the curse from the inside out.
That is fascinating. So what does this all mean for you listening right now? I think it highlights human resilience. When faced with existential dread, we don't just panic.
No, we get wildly creative.
Exactly. These ancient people adapted their most rigid beliefs to carve out a sense of control and safety.
It shows that people will always find a way to reconcile the absolute rules of their faith with the visceral human need to feel secure in a dangerous world.
Which leaves you with a final thought to mull over. If ancient people used encrypted scripture to hack their spiritual security, how will future archaeologists interpret the literal encryption keys and firewalls we use today?
Oh, that's a great question.
Right. Will they look at our cybersecurity infrastructure and view it as our own modern form of sympathetic magic? Just complex rituals we construct to keep the unseen anxieties of the outside world from getting in.